All right, let's see who pops on here. Let's talk about some things. Mhm. Let's see who pops on here. I don't really think I can sing. I don't know why I'm making noises. uh, Will I be all alone or will people join the chat? Let's see. All right, cool. See, we have about I'm getting a bunch of hellos. Okay. I'm just gonna say hi to everybody. As you're coming on. I'm not gonna go through the names. Um just because your names come by really, really quickly, and I'd be like, hi, blah 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 blah. So 30, wow, okay, that's quick. We got like 31 people in the chat already. Good to see everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody's doing well. I know the world's a little nervous right now, but that's, it is what it is. Can't change it. No power to change it. My hair, it's a head wrap, and I just have a hat over it. If anything, I'm hiding my hair right now because I need to freshen up my locks. But thank you for the compliment. But yeah, I just have a head wrap on. All right. All right. Hello to everyone who's joined me in the chat. I'm happy to see all of you. I'm just checking in. Like I said, finding time to do videos is really, really difficult right now. This past week, I officially started my new job. And so, I had to do like new hire paperwork, and it was just getting used to being here, starting to try to figure out what my job duties were, meeting a billion new people who are all introduced to me, and they only have to remember me. And, me having to try to remember all these new people and all these new names. You showed your hair the other day and it was so cute. Oh, thank you. That's adorbs. That means so much to me. So like this past week so far has been like just all the in and outs of sort of coming into a new place as a new employee, and meeting a bunch of people and sort of figuring out the flow and the rhythm. I'm going to see how many more people show up before I talk any more about anything more serious. But it's been pretty cool. I like the people. I'm liking the vibe. I like the show that I'm working on. Some people have said, hey, show us what's going on. But a lot of what I'm doing right now is private. It's literally not stuff I can like share in a video. And so it's a lot of getting up and going to work and then coming back home. But also what's happening in between those moments are not really things that I am at liberty to share. And it's only really been that I went to the supermarket today after the rehearsal got canceled, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, that's what's going on with me right now. Future Imperfect asked me, how are my dog neighbors? I assume they're great. After I met them. The big guy liked me. Basically, my downstairs neighbors, they have like a big dog and a little dog, and don't ask me the breeds because I don't know. But they have a big dog and like a little dog. And when I came up the walk to go in, the big dog, because she was just out with their leashes and they were just on a little potty break, and the big dog came over and I'm like, oh, and I start petting him, and then I start talking to her, and we're having like a great conversation. She was really nice. I met her husband, who's also living downstairs with her as well. I'd met him previously, and I'd seen him with the same dogs. And the funny thing is, the first thing I said to him, he was like, you live upstairs from me. And I was like, you have those two dogs? And he's like, yeah. And then I meet his wife, and after like actually having a conversation with her, petting the dog, joking about dogs, I go, it was great to meet your dogs. And she was like, yeah, it was great to meet you downstairs, and I was like, should I said it was nice to meet her instead of the dogs? So yeah, that was funny. What are my hours? My hours vary. There is no I have, under normal circumstances, 6 days a week, but the actual hours vary because of the way the rehearsal schedules are set up. Because this is a rep series, which I explained in a previous video, there's a lot of stuff happening on top of each other. So the nature of this is more of a festival format, even though the company, it's called Oregon Shakespeare Festival, and it is a festival, but it's also a company. So it's kind of weird. In a normal theater environment, one show starts rehearsals, it finishes rehearsals. By the time it's moving into the theater, the other show has finished, it is leaving, and this new show is moving in. So when you're transitioning from rehearsal space to performance space, you always have people going in and out. Well, in this festival environment, or this rep environment, things are happening on top of each other. So the same theater may be hosting one show for a certain amount of days and another show for another amount of days. And a lot of the company members are involved in multiple shows. So they might be performing in a show while also being in rehearsal for another show. And because of that, the rehearsal schedules are inconsistent. So it's not like every Monday through Friday I work these hours, every Friday I'm working this hour, that kind of stuff. So yeah, and there's one day off a week. Doesn't mean I may only work 40 hours in a week. I could work more than 40, but that's going to be split up over 6 days. And like in between that, you're just getting all your life stuff done, like trying not to forget to do laundry. There may be paperwork things that need to be done outside of rehearsal that affect stage management, and that would affect me. So it's a whole thing. Yeah, so it's great though. I kind of love it. Lots of cancellations in Maryland, schools closed, churches closed, etc. That is happening in a lot of places in the US right now. So yeah. So let me see. So this question right here. This is sort of what I got online to talk about. I work in an industry where a lot of people interact. I mean, and that's true for not just entertainment and live entertainment. It's true, in a lot of industries. Like if you're like a programmer or a graphic designer or something like that, it doesn't affect you as much because technically you can move a lot of that stuff, home. But across the US right now, there are a lot of places where public events are being canceled. A lot of people know like the NBA is being affected by this because of the gatherings of more than a certain amount of people. And the whole ideas of reducing, first of all, travel, which for professional sports events is necessary, and groups of people being in the same place. It is affecting Oregon. There is no case of coronavirus in Ashland. However, there are 24, last I checked, cases in the state of Oregon. And I don't know how many people know this, but I'll just restate it because I am not a person who wants to become a panicker or serve unnecessary panic. So coronavirus is a type. COVID-19 is the specific issue that we're dealing with right now. And it's COVID-19 that is the current threat. And I don't know how many people know that difference. So yeah, it is affecting us. And in fact, Broadway itself, which is the biggest theater venue has actually suspended all performances because of coronavirus. So it is affecting the theater industry, definitely. So yeah, we are not immune from the situation as an industry. And if it's hitting Broadway, that's like one of the biggest things. The problem with theater, of course, is there are a lot of people who are either freelance or paid hourly. And so it's kind of a sucky thing because it's one of those things where if you don't show up for a shift, or shifts are canceled, that you don't get paid. So yes, we should be reacting this way. We should be trying to reduce the spread by reducing the gatherings. But this particular sentence in the article really stood out to me, which it says our top priority has been and will continue to be the health and well-being of Broadway theater goers and thousands of people who work in the theater industry every day, including actors, musicians, stagehands, ushers, and many other dedicated professionals. All those people are a little bit out of work once these shutdowns start happening. So I hope that the industry responds appropriately and thinks about the fact that it's going to be hard on these people if they're not getting paid at all. And I know it's going to come to a hit to them as a company, but I hope in general theater responds by saying we'll find a way to supplement the fact that you're out of work while you were on contract to us, even if those are hourly commitments that can't be fulfilled for circumstances beyond what those people can control. And honestly, that's been my biggest fear as sort of this story has been developing, is like, how is it going to affect my ability to make money in this situation if I'm paid based on showing up? I'm not going to elaborate where that situation is right now because that's sort of a private thing that I'm handling on my end. But just know, for people who work in my industry, this is a big deal. For people who freelance, and that freelancing is based on showing up, like stage crew, you know, actors themselves, like a lot of those people get their hours by showing up. In some cases, there are union protections, and some they're not. And in some cases, people are depending on sort of the companies thinking we should still pay these people because it's circumstances beyond their control, but also their ability to make money is obviously affected by the fact that they can't put on performances. But that's just a broad stroke. Again, don't take this as Dawn is in financial trouble or anything like that, because I am not saying that. But it's a concern and a fear, and has been a concern and a fear as sort of things have been amping up, and more things that are live related are being affected by this. In the state of Oregon specifically, the governor has mandated that there be no gatherings of over 250 people for 4 weeks to slow the spread of the coronavirus. Again, this isn't about Ashland, it's about the entire state of Oregon. There have been 24 cases in Oregon, if I remember correctly, and those cases, from what I saw, are closer to Portland. It's like Washington County and another like weird county. So it's definitely closer to Portland, which is further away from where I am. But also, this is a festival, so people travel to it. I think a lot of people are being smart and saying I should probably reduce my travel. But the thing is, like, this is a very big, very well-known festival. And so when people come to see the shows, a lot of times they aren't necessarily from Ashland itself. Before I left, I haven't really been tracking California because I'm not there. I'm pretty sure there was some cases that have been found there. I don't know the actual number. So it's a very real concern of reducing travel, but reducing travel also comes at the company losing income. So yeah, so that's the thing. So yeah. That's where we are right now. Also, let me see if I can get this map up for you guys. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Here we go. Things here. I've just been rambling on, so forgive me if I haven't caught everything in the comments while I was rambling on here. I'm looking for a Chrome tab, and here we go. And I'm going to share this right here. Get that on up there for you guys. All right. So I just did this just so people have a sense of what I say when I say it's like, it's not, it's near me, but also like not really. So the cases that they found in Oregon, this is where I am, which is Ashland. And the cases they found in Oregon, it's been in, got rid of that, Clackamas County, which is closer to Portland. And that's fade out, fade out, fade out. Ooh, that's a lot. Oh, I didn't mean to go that far out. We're looking at like the whole Earth, guys. This is not going the way I planned. It's so slow. I blame my internet connection. All right, so you see this blue dot down here? It's actually below Medford. That's where I am, and this is like Clackamas County. And then the other county is Washington County, which is also over here, right? So it's way closer to Portland. It's way closer to the Washington border than the California border. So again, any actions that are being taken that concern the whole state of Oregon, the primary places where it's actually been showing up is all the way up here. That again doesn't mean that it's not a concern. It obviously is a concern, because like California also hasn't been left untouched. But again, I think like the California cases are closer to here. The Oregon cases are closer to up here in Portland. So yeah, that's just me rambling on about sort of the distance at which it is from me. Enough that I'm not like I'm not afraid. And honestly, I don't see myself panicking about it. Because I'm more worried about people in vulnerable populations, like older people and people with immune problems, and just being really, really conscious about being really, really clean, so that I'm not in some way aiding in spreads that make, spreading of germs that'll make people vulnerable. I'm being very cautious about like washing my hands, not that I wasn't before, but just like turning up the logic. But mostly I'm just worried about the festival. We did cancel performances today. I feel free saying that because I haven't checked their website, but I think that's already, I've been out there. Their signage posted, and basically they're just keeping us updated about how they're handling things. We were originally going to have rehearsal today, and then it ended up being canceled, which is why one of the reasons I was like, well, I need some food. I don't know what's going to happen over the next couple of days while people are trying to be smart while not like shutting themselves down completely. So yeah, that's where I am right now with this. So yeah. Be America says, hit the thumbs up, people. I don't know if this video is very positive. But support for the channel is always good. YouTube is one of the ways I bring in extra income, and anything that makes this channel looks like it's popular and getting attention always aids in the continued support of ad revenue, which as always costs you nothing. It costs you a like, a comment, and a view. So all of those things help me have my tiny little bit of a supplemental income from ad revenue. Steve-O lives in Portland, Oregon. People are going crazy. I think I might have missed some connection to this, but yeah, I would understand. It's it's way closer to Portland than it is to Ashland at this point. Manny S, I'm going to address this one. Yes, actually, I was given enough money I was donated some money, which allowed me to repair my car. It is being repaired as we speak. It is with the mechanic. I should have it back by tomorrow. evening. Okay, so yeah, that's a positive. We're gonna feel which requires staff 24/7, 365. They told us to come to work unless we're sick. Yeah, but like the thing is, the problem with this situation, and it's true of a lot of things, is like you cannot feel sick and be, able to infect other people. And that's where it gets kind of difficult. And like, there's a lot of people where it's like trying to trace where they got it from is proving a mystery. And so somebody could have had it, not realize that was what they had because of some of the symptoms, mass other things, were able to get over it because it doesn't kill everybody. And then like they're like, I feel great. And because they haven't had that 2 weeks, because that 2 weeks is about making sure you've passed the point of really being highly contagious to other people. And so like you could feel great. And I'm guilty of this too in the past where I'm like, yeah, I'm not completely well, but I'm well enough to walk around. I have this job that expects me to show up. I also need money. And so I show up. So it's I think employers are in a difficult place because they don't certainly want to encourage hypochondriacs. But at the same time, I think this is the point where we need to turn it up a little bit. While also like understanding like people who depend on hourly rates can't just not work without some kind of help. And that's the hard part. Disney apparently is paying all their employees, even though they will be closed for the rest of the month. I hope a lot of the big industries follow this model. I feel like actors are going to get a little more, in my personal industry, I feel like actors are going to get a little more protected. People who are at higher levels or connected to unions are going to get protected. But I worry about people like house managers, ushers, concessionaires, because they really like the people who sell concessions at the theater or do the coffee or whatever they're doing, even bartenders at some of the theaters and bartenders in general at event venues, like they're going to be hurt and they get paid when there's a shift for them to show up for. And I don't know how much or anything's going to be able to help them out. Especially, I think people who are a little more closer to awareness of the larger company model are going to be a little bit better off than say ushers and house managers and people sort of who don't get paid unless there's a shift to show up for. Hopefully, at least if they've scheduled people and canceled events, they will think, oh, the people I already promised hours for this event, I will pay. And I really hope that's the way it goes as far as how this affects like the live event industry. And that's theater, it's sports events, it's anything that people are gathering for in large places. I know a lot of conventions are canceling, but a lot of those are moving to online models. And that's not possible in all cases. So I really hope people are thinking that part out. But yeah, I think it's great. If I'm going to give Disney the conglomerate points for anything, I'm glad they're doing that. Let me see what else we got here. I know a lot of comments came through while I was talking, so like I'm just gonna glance through here and see what I can catch up with. So no more than 250 people gathered. That exactly matches the mandate of the governor here in Oregon. And just to restate it, that 250 people isn't just the audience, it's the audience, how many performers are in the show, or in case of other live situations, how many people are, doing the performance of whatever it is. It's going to count the crew people. It counts anybody backstage working. It counts anybody like working in the front. All of that is part of that number. And most venues, except for really, really tiny ones, are 250 or more. But I think anyone that's hitting that 100 to 150 are being like really, 100 people possibly getting infected is still a lot. So I think like even smaller than 250, like people are reacting to that number. I work at a hospital in Boston. People are starting to freak out, which is why I'm trying to stay calm. I mean, like, I don't think the freaking out's going to help. It's a lot of places. Like people like, oh my God, Corona is in Oregon. Not realizing, it's mostly closer to the Seattle area, but sorry, Portland. Seattle's in Washington. It's mostly closer to the Portland area. But I think everywhere people are starting to freak out. I don't know. Like there's been a lot of dumb stuff. There was a woman who was like covered in like plastic bags. There was 2 idiots who went on a subway with like hazmat suits on and freaked a bunch of people out. Like there's a bunch of dumb stuff going on that's not helping. I think that is very negative to things. I'm still trying to Uber a little, just clean the van more. They found 3 confirmed cases here by me. Yeah, Uber's tough for both sides, like as the Uber driver and as the passenger that needs to get from point A to point B. I think like I hope people are taking the proper precautions on their end. So like being aware of like if they're coughing or like whatever when encountering you, because you can be very careful, and if somebody else isn't, you're in a car is a very small enclosed space with someone. So I wish you well. Please continue to be as safe as you can, and keeping things clean. Stores are starting to go empty here in Portland, Oregon. I'm not surprised. There was a bunch of like I went to the cleaning section to get just some wipes. Just so like I'm more aware of like keeping my surfaces clean, and I was running out of my I had like some spray disinfectant stuff, but I was trying to get something else, maybe something better, and like stuff was just gone. And they had stuff for like the supermarkets know what they're doing. First of all, it's a markup, and second of all, it was like buy 2 get 1 free. Like they want people to like clean out the shelves and ridiculously. I'm not understanding the run-in toilet paper. People always panic about the gosh darn toilet paper. It never makes sense. No matter what happens, like we go after toilet paper, bread, and milk, which never makes sense to me at the level at which it happens. Like I don't understand it either, especially not getting into fist fights about it. That's just ridiculous. Tina has corrected to say there are 12 confirmed cases where she is. Freedom Dove, I agree with you. Freedom Dove says people should be more worried about food than toilet paper, in my opinion. Yeah, and also the right kind of food. Like get some stuff, like, get it like non-perishables. I mean, have your perishables, but even in a refrigerator, perishables can go bad. So having food that's non-perishable, that that can really help you in a worst case scenario. I mean, whenever there's something, rather it's like a snowstorm, or in this case, possibly having to just stay within like your home for an extended amount of time. Like the things people buy do not make any sense at all. Like that. The vegan athlete. Yes, I thank you so much, and I'm happy it's happening too. And I'm glad I can take care of it now, just in case any other businesses are affected by this in the coming weeks of the 4-week shutdown. I think like the gathering thing is until it's 4 weeks, so that would take us into early April, right? So if for any reason, businesses are more thoroughly affected in the next couple of weeks, I'm glad I was able to take care of it sooner rather than later. Freedom Dove, this is an important point. 75 of the infected in China have recovered. Most deaths are the elderly and immune compromised. And I think this is an important thing to remember. The people at risk of death are the old people and people who are immune compromised, but that means if you think you are infected, the most important thing you can do is reduce your contact to these people. Like the danger of you getting infected as a generally healthy adult isn't so much your own death. Like more like you'll probably recover if you're otherwise a generally like healthy, person who's not old or immune compromised. Your chances of recovery are like very high. But if you expose the virus to someone who is elderly or immune compromised, that's where you can hurt other people. So that's where you become a risk to the population. And that's more what it's about. They've also, so like they even advise you not interact with your own pets if you get sick. So it's more what this thing you become to other people unexpectedly. In the theater industry, I'm going to be honest, a lot of our patrons are old. I don't say that offensively. It's just a fact. A lot of our patrons are not young. Theater has a mostly older audience, which is sad because there's a lot of new cool plays out that are very like youth driven, very much speaking to the youth. But the audience of theater is still much older, and especially at a Shakespeare festival. Even though this is called Oregon Shakespeare Festival, like the show I'm working on, the two shows that I'm out here to work on, neither one of them are Shakespeare. They're both modern plays. So while the plays are trying to talk to, the audience as a whole, our audience in general has stayed fairly older. So when it comes to theater, I definitely understand the caution because honestly, a lot of the vulnerable population are the type of people who patronize theater more than anyone else. So yeah. So let me look at the comments here. I'm going to highlight this one because thanks for pointing it out. As an elderly immune compromised nomad, please protect yourself to protect us. And I think that's the biggest point. The reason why you're taking these precautions, even if you're not in a compromised group, is to not accidentally present something to a compromised group. And that's why you need to take the precaution to care about your fellow human. So yeah. Good on you. I work in the Bay Area and live in Portland. I will be driving home instead of flying this time. I've bought toilet paper and canned food at this end while there's still food on the shelves. I'm still waiting to see like how much of a shutdown actually happens as far as supermarkets. Yeah. If everybody hasn't heard, flights are really cheap now because people don't want to fly. So on the opposite end, people are running out to buy plane tickets. Because like flights are really cheap, and like airports are so conscious, they're actually cleaning more often. I am not telling anybody to travel, but there are definitely some people whose reaction has been, oh my God, flights are like super cheap. And because of all this caution, heck, they're cleaning the airport more than they used to. It's not the right mindset to have. I think if you can travel on your own, enclosed in a space that you control, it's probably actually better at this point than sort of going to these public ways of transportation. As much as people like talk about like buses and trains and all of those things are actually more risky now to our personal health than driving alone in our vehicles. So yeah, it's a complex time to live in. This is an important point, so I want to put that up there because it's especially complex for like people who want to die, because the thing is, like, some of these symptoms aren't necessarily exclusive to the coronavirus or COVID-19, which I think is important to make a distinction about. COVID-19 is a type of coronavirus. The coronavirus already existed in our world. It's like the flu has different strands. And actually, when they inoculate you against the flu, it's the strand that's the biggest threat. Like the flu in and of itself also has different strands. And so coronavirus is a blanket term. What we're dealing with right now is COVID-19, which is very specific. And I'm hoping that is getting circulated. But as well, this is a good tip. If you can call in and say, I've had these symptoms, do you think, it's worth me coming in? It's better to try not to just panic and run in droves to the doctors, because there are a lot of surfaces to touch in the doctor's office as well. There's like chairs and tables and magazines and like, toys, and if you have kids. And so like, this is a very important point, and I just want to put it up there. And apparently, if your doctor thinks you need testing, they can approve it at no cost to you. Freedom Dove, I want to thank you for all of the important messages. Queen K, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Sorry I didn't see that sooner. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody else. But thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat. I will put that in the savings account. Situations like this also, I mean, mind you, if the whole government collapses, money won't matter. But if it's a matter of, for weeks or months at a time, again, I'm learning over and over again the value of having a nest egg. So whatever happens, like, I am prioritizing making that a thing. If I get a little delayed in paying off my debt to make sure I have a nest egg, it is still going to make things better for me. So I'm prioritizing making sure I have a nest egg while not getting, too further away from my paying off my debt goal. But it is important to have the nest egg even while working through a debt reduction. And situations like this prove it to me over and over again how valuable that is. Also, figuring out ways to make money on the side, on your own. If you have an idea for a side business and it's going to like not cost you a lot of money to invest in it, if you're good at like graphic design, and you can maybe do like, I don't know, wrapping paper or greeting cards. Like, I would say look into those things, because ways to make money that don't require you to like depend on a business that needs you to show up for an hourly rate are invaluable in situations like this. So yeah, that's my PSA for like, have a savings account and have a side hustle that's not dependent on somebody else or somebody else's business. If you can build anything like that, like, go for it. So yeah. Julie N, I'm so sorry to hear this. Oh, that so sucks. Oh man, I hope you're like, that sucks, man. I don't even know what else to say. I don't even know how to react to that one. People are panic buying at my local Walmart. They are out of toilet paper and water. We only have one case in Oklahoma, so I thought it one case in Oklahoma, so I thought it wouldn't be so panicky so soon. I mean, even states where or cities and counties where they've, not found any case, people are still panicking. Like, I met a young lady yesterday who goes to a college around here, and she's not shaking hands, which is smart. It's actually one of the things they're advising you to reduce doing. So people in general are just cautious. But I think the panic levels where we're cleaning out the supermarkets are a little ridiculous at this point. I'm way behind in comments, guys, so forgive me. Thank you for the local update. Everything is canceled just about in SF now. Magic Theater, Berkeley Rep, Brava Theater, you name it, just happened in the last few hours. I heard that they were on the verge of like also shutting down large gatherings. I think it's going to happen in a lot of places. It's just going to be a general effect. And I'm not even going to just say theater, anything that's alive, sports, theater, ice shows, opera. I think all that stuff is gonna end up in the same place. Um, and this is also a concern of mine. This comment that's coming up now. I'm worried about schools closing and working parents not having childcare. That is huge. That's another one. Like, even if you have a salary job, still they're not, if you don't have enough sick days or whatever to cover your absences, and your kids can't go to school. It's different with older kids. If your kids are old enough, they can probably live being at home alone. But people with very young children are definitely in a difficult position if the school closes. I know a lot of colleges are actually going online, but those are college students. They can take care of themselves. uh, uh, Deschutes County. Where the heck is Deschutes County, Oregon? I don't know where that is. Like, as far as like where it is, Oregon. I mean, like, Oregon's not a small state. So it's really hard because it's like everything is about what border is that near. Um, so I don't know. Just being in the state of Oregon doesn't like scare me a whole lot. Also, like, yeah, my biggest fear at this point is just if it happened to me, uh being able to be away from people for 2 weeks and what that would mean in cost. um I would be away from people for 2 weeks. I wouldn't hesitate. Like, if I personally caught it, I'd be more concerned about like the fact that I have to keep myself away from people, but also what that would mean financially. For me, it would be really, really difficult. It's one thing if they shut down, because I think they sort of have a plan in place to help us out. Should they come with final decisions. I mean, like, the performances, I think those are going to be off the table, like it's happening a lot of other places. But as far as rehearsals and sort of the daily work we do that isn't an actual public performance, I'm not sure how much of that is going to be affected. But I think if they do it knowing that we already had that work coming up, it's going to be okay. But if any of one of us individually gets sick, one, how it affects the group, and two, how it would affect me personally having to pull out of that situation, like, that is sort of the difficulty of everything. So yeah. Boo, boo, boo. Apparently, you can say I think I have the coronavirus, which probably so many people do at this point. It's ridiculous. Your doctor will tell you to stay home and away from society, just that cold. uh I think if you're sick, you should be more cautious. If you have any sign of sickness, I think you should just be very conscious about that at this point. um and soap and water is the best thing you can do right now. I've seen people, like, I don't even know if anybody's seen the video of the dad that's like spraying his kid down with disinfectant. Like, soap and water. Like, that's the best thing you can do right now. Soap and water. Kim C says, we've manufactured toilet paper in the States, so it's absolutely no need to buy 10 to 15 packs. Especially if, like, you're a single adult, or, like, it's just, like, a two-person couple. Like, if you got, like, 5 kids in the house, like, maybe. But, like, there's, like, people who, like, live by themselves and want, like, a whole closet of toilet paper. You'll be fine. I'm sure you'll figure it out. uh, so beans and rice are getting low in stock where I am. That's a pantry staple in my household. That one I can understand. You can make beans and rice like last the apocalypse. Uh, 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 uh. I'm just scrolling through comments right now. Woo! I'm just woo woo. I hope I didn't miss too much. Do 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 do. And like I said, I'm pretty much staying in good spirits. I'm one of those people who feel like, whatever happens is going to happen. And this is a good point right here. Yep, I'm older and definitely sticking to myself right now. And like, I don't allow myself to get panicked. There's nothing to do but like try to be cautious, take smart precautions, and keep as much personal responsibility as you can take on, not to be a part of the problem, is as much as you can do with this case. If I get it, I get it. I have to lock myself up for 2 weeks and deal with it, and just make sure I'm in a place to deal with those 2 weeks and like whatever happens there. So yeah. I'm gonna put this up because it's a good point. I like this one by John, who says, I bet it's the preppers who are actually buying out all the toilet paper. Yeah. What you would think they'd already have all the toilet paper. They're preppers. Tanya, you're probably gone by now, but go ahead and get some sleep. Khalil, thank you for the $2 super chat. I'm gonna go ahead and put that away for a rainy day. This is probably a really boring like live chat, guys. This is an important link. So yeah, guys, it's easy to get hyped up about this situation, but go to the CDC website, make sure you have the facts, make sure you're not just feeding into a lot of the panic that's out there right now. This video is going to be so unpopular because I'm not sitting here like panicking. Pork Rind says I will not be flying for at least a year. Bob's Adventure. Let me read that right. Your dogs are so cute. Okay, let me stop. Hello, everyone. Van in a land in the middle of nowhere is my future pandemic escape plan. You're probably pretty safe. Just to be like, I'm just going to be. And actually, open air is actually good for fighting the virus. It's like all the objects enclosed that actually are at a higher risk. So ventilation is actually really, really good for things right now. All right, Corey Bowes said, I work in a commercial cleaning company and surfaces aren't a worry. I heard it can actually, I might be wrong, might need to look this up, but I heard it can live on surfaces. It may not be the biggest threat and the biggest ways being passed, but I have heard it can live on surfaces for a very long time. But I could be wrong. It's not been spread through touching surfaces. It's person to person, which, yes, that's what I've heard. The actual threat is person to person, like direct air, coughing, sneezing, and body fluids. But I heard it has like a pretty long life on surfaces. So I don't know. I'm happy to be stand corrected. I am so slow, guys. I miss stuff. I might be missing stuff. I'm gonna scan through things and see if there's any big worst things. I feel like I'm way behind. Vanlife Voyages says, I'm with you on not panicking. You're doing the right thing. Daniel says it's an airborne virus. Ventilation's a bad idea. See, this is what I mean. This is why I feel like I need to go read the CDC website, because like there's so much conflicting information out there. It can be spread on surfaces. Like ventilation is good, ventilation is bad. That's why I say don't even listen to me. Like do your own research. And that's the hardest part about this right now. It's there's so much out there that it's do your own research, look at the government website, um, look at their information, and that will you will know is true. As opposed to make sure you're just not listening to secondary news sites. News sites. I can't use words. I just now got an email from OSS saying that announcing they are canceling their shows as of now. I kind of had a feeling that was coming. I also wasn't going to like speak for the company. So yeah, again, that's the shows. We have things in rehearsal that open later in the season. The things that are active right now probably will not be going on at least until we reach the end of this window where we're trying to reduce the spread of the virus. Doo-doo-doo. Oh my gosh, did I miss anything that I should have responded to? I suck at live streams, don't I, guys? All right, cool. I'm gonna scroll down real quick. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's just stop breathing. Problem solved. That's what Kim said. Okay, so this one I like because this is actually a thing that also affects the shows, which you wouldn't believe it. It says this posting says don't kiss someone that has it. Bad idea. Well, how about unfortunately, if you don't know somebody, don't kiss them. Don't go in on any new first dates and start kissing people. And the thing is, you know, working in this industry, we do staged romance. And so there's kissing, there's hand holding, there's all this touching that is a part of the job. That's, I mean, like in regular work environments, that's against HR, but there's a lot of consensual touching, for lack of a better word, that happens when you're telling stories. And this is, you know, in theater and film. So that actually is a challenge that even as we continue to work, the theater industry has to think about. You know, as cute as it might be, that's something that actually affects theater. It's like, maybe we don't have that kissing scene, you know, maybe we don't have the lovers hold hands, but then like it becomes a question of like, will the audience understand why this is happening, which shouldn't matter in comparison to the health of people. But if you have in any ways you can cut down kissing, this is not the time for like being free and kissing new people. So like if you can reduce your kissing and touching, it may sucks if you meet somebody you really like, but maybe like, you know, this is definitely not the time for having kisses on first dates or in performance. That's the thing. I thought that was just a funny thing to sort of light things up a bit, but I'm a weirdo. Oh, well, this sucks, John. John says, where I work, I see people still not washing their hands after peeing, even when our brim mirrors have large postings of washing, etc. after use. I mean, but honestly, let's be real. If people are used to not washing their hands, they're already not germ conscious, which isn't helpful, but I would hope people will become more responsible, even if they're a chronic gross person. Like just to look out for people. Be America. I'm gonna highlight this comment because I like it. Thank you so much. And yes, like if I look out my window right now, I can see a beautiful mountain view. I am in Oregon. I am meeting wonderful people. Even if I can't touch them and we shouldn't be kissing, there's nobody I want to kiss. I'm just kidding. um, it's still good. It's still very positive. I met somebody from Maryland the other day in one of the shows, and we just had this great like moment of talking and connecting about Maryland. And it was really, really great. So like there's still things to be positive about. And I think that's the most important thing to do right now it's easy to find the things to be negative about. It's easy to find the things to be worried about, but find those things that are still just beautiful. I'm here, I'm another day, and this thing is beautiful. So I really appreciate that comment. Very, very much. S has says, can you imagine all the plays, movies, and books that will be emerging based on end of the world crisis triggered by this situation? I think they're already happening. I think the deadly virus thing has been done anyway, and it's been portrayed way worse than the situation is. I think the biggest fear right now is we don't really know how to fight this. Even though we know a lot of younger, healthier, not immune compromised people will get over it. No one wants to be responsible for giving it to their grandmother or someone in their family who's immune compromised and they get over it and this other person doesn't. So yeah, it's a difficult time. I think that would actually in fiction, not in real life, that would be a more interesting story. Not the person who got it, but somebody who maybe accidentally caused things. I don't know how long I've been on. Oh, this is funny. Well, make sure you both get tested. No, that's all. That's the new thing we have to test for. I don't think anybody's, even though you can get it from fluids, I don't think we've traced that as the thing. I think with the symptoms you'd have with coronavirus, maybe those instincts would be turned down a little bit, but I don't know. No, if you'd want that, wow, that was going on. But you should be cautious on anything that causes fluid exchange. That's funny. Shoot. Shoot. I'm trying to keep up with things. Sorry. I agree with this comment. We now have a reason to absolutely publicly shame anybody who doesn't wash their hands. Kim C says, dark sense of humor, but I'm here for it. Hey, you gotta find ways to just laugh and embrace this. And I don't mean people being idiots, because there's people out there who are doing things just to panic people, and I don't think that's okay. But the other day when we were joking about buying up plane tickets, and none of us actually were going to do it. We're we can go to Aruba now, ain't nobody gonna want to fly, but we were really going to do it. But just joking about things that can make you laugh, I think, is the best thing ever. Now you have a reason to, my friend. Do what you gotta do. We gotta make people be more conscious. Maybe there's a market for a coronavirus. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that's funny. I like that. That could be a movie, the coronavirus dating app. Moving two college kids far away in college home is stressful. I'll be more positive when they get home. Here in CT on the border of New York, it's really bad. I've been seeing a lot of colleges push for online classes though, which I think is really, really smart. So I hope in places where it can happen, where they know there's a high risk, they continue to push for these online classes. It's really sad though for kids in the arts, in certain arts, like you can paint in your house. You can go do photographs by yourself. But there's also like when I was in school and I did theater and film, like we had to go out and like do projects, and that was a huge part of our grade, but it was also a huge part of the learning experience. Like you can't learn how to shoot with a camera unless you go out and shoot with it. You can't learn how to run a theater performance unless you actually run one. And so for those specific majors, there's only so much you can do online. So it sucks for them a lot. I know somebody who is a professor in film, and that is a thing that it's like I don't know how to teach this class if I can't and she doesn't. It's not like this person wants to expect them to go out and put themselves at risk, but at the same time it's like, how can I actually provide, you know, what this class is supposed to provide if we're avoiding interacting with each other and other people, because that's so much of the experience for those types of majors. So college is in a weird place because like probably like 80 to 90% of college for most people can be done online. And I hope like most colleges keep pushing for that, because it's just a smart thing to do right now. I hope the two college kids, they're okay and nothing like major happens to them. If I pause, it's just because I'm reading and trying to catch up. So sorry guys, I'm just trying to make sure I'm like tracking things. I wonder if there will be a baby boom 9 months from now. Well, that would mean people are like touching. Which is what we're supposed to be avoiding doing. Well, I guess if you're a married couple, like you just lock up together, and if you're relatively young and healthy, hopefully you're not. You can somehow figure out how to take care of each other. This is funny. I have to throw this one. Is this coronavirus going to destroy the condom market? Yeah, just don't cough on me during sex, and then like, no, this video is gonna get demonetized. Yeah, we should probably get off of this. Let's move on. There will still be college and campus, and online the numbers will double. I know a lot of like colleges are really, really making efforts though on the college level, and I don't have a kid in college, and I'm not in college. At least a lot of the news I've been hearing, like I can't remember, it was one of the Ivy Leagues. They basically said, take your break early, like just go. So like I hope colleges are responding like appropriately across the board. Um, do do do. All right, like did I miss anything? Oh gosh, the only thing I love StreamYard because it allows me to like share my screen, but I swear I miss more when super chats come. I always want to acknowledge them because like I'm so grateful for them, but hopefully I didn't miss any while I was StreamYarding here. Healthy Van Living, thank you for the $3 super chats. How's your screen, guys? Because I just checked on another device and I'm looking pretty broken up. See, caller, shoot. Thank you for the 1999 super chat. Khalil already acknowledged you. Iconic Night, thank you for the 299 super chats. Queen K, I got you for the 999 super chats. Evan, how'd I miss you? Thank you for the 499 super chats. Yeah, I missed a couple of these. Manny S, thank you for the $10 super chat. All of this is going towards that savings fund that I want to start. Like, really, that's where any ad revenue, anything I get from YouTube is going. Besides getting my car repaired and Another little thing I need done to the van. I think I caught up with all the super chats. I had to look at another screen, guys. That's why I'm looking away, because it allowed me to scroll a little bit better. StreamYard is failing me in that. That's why I have I have a phone screen up as well. I'm recording this on my tablet. Carla Schutz, also appreciate the thanks for being you. Avocado. Is that an avocado? I think it was an avocado. I know I'm scrolling back in the chat right now. I'm going to get back to more current comments in a second. I appreciate all of the super chats. Like, absolutely. Like I said, YouTube is how I have a little bit of like extra income. Green Teal Goddess, thank you for the $20 super chat. I'm going to address this question. Glad you're well. I might have missed it. Are you still being paid despite closings? OSF is right now sort of assessing the situation. Life changed for them in 24 hours. So I have a lot more details coming up as they decide what they want to do for the rest of the week. I think I'm going to be okay. And that's how I want to take care of it. I want to talk about this more in the broad stroke, but I should be okay. I think because of the way my situation is, I should be okay. I think they're going to take care of me. OSF is a great company. Right now they're troubleshooting, and I have every confidence because of the level that they're at and because of the relationships they want to foster, that they're going to take care of their stage management crew, stage crew, and actors. Like, I have every confidence. Like, I'm not panicked about it. I'm panicked about it in a general way, but not in a massive way. And I more feel sad for people in my industry because I know not everyone is at an institution that can either afford or will support them during this downtime. And I think like live events, big live events are going to go down for a while. So I just hope most places are thinking a lot about their hourly employees and are going to take care of them. But I have every confidence in OSF. Right now, things are still happening, and they're happening so rapidly. They're like, we're going to check in with you guys and let you guys know where they are. But as much as I can say about it, I have every confidence that I'm going to be okay. As far as that. As far as like, we expected you to show up for these things. And we understand like not showing up for these things because of things that decisions we had to make on our end isn't about you not being willing to do your job. So yeah, I have very good confidence about that. I just hope it happens universally and trickles down everywhere it needs to go. I'm just gonna take this down because like it might be easier for me to scroll on here. No thanks. Go away. YouTube's advertising to me. Stop that. YouTube. Stop it. Stop it, phone. I'm gonna put that down. I'm losing it. I'm losing the chat, you guys. All right. What the heck? Sorry. Everything's acting up on me right now. I'm having all kinds of like issues with the chat screen. I'm gonna jump to the bottom. Hopefully I haven't missed anything. I did get to like I saw something about the Small Business Administration Freedom Dove before the thing. Yeah, so this is good news. The Small Business Administration will be given relief for closing soon. Future Imperfect says Harvard students 5 days to clear off campus. That's what it was. Harvard's like, just get out. like we'll figure it out. Just go. Like, take care of yourselves. um this is another comment about Walt Disney. Just closed for 2 weeks, so it's scary for those people that need that weekly check. I believe Disney is planning to actively take care of their employees, which they should. We know Disney owns everything now. Disney is Marvel, Disney is Star Wars, Disney is Disney and that whole company. Disney is the parks. I'm sure they can, take this loss and recover fine once things get back to normal. So they should definitely take care of their people. They have no excuse. So yeah. This one says the feds are spending billions to make sure workers are okay. I still think a lot of this is dependent. I think there are industries that live in a different world, and this stuff is never easy. Like, they understand the guy who works in a plant. I find people sometimes are less understanding about like ushers or like the guys who like take care of the football field. So I just hope the people in those industries get as much protection, because they're not small businesses. They're just people, like the people who do concessions at stadiums. Those people are going to get hit really hard. And what about people like Uber drivers and DoorDash delivery people? It's one thing when it's people who are regularly employed by the same company. Another when people are seen as on-call employees and there's nothing to call them to. Especially because their time with the company may be inconsistent. And so it's those people I'm really worried about. And those people who usually take it in the gut if they can't get hours. So I just hope those people are going to be okay. If those and like kids being out of school is also a big thing. It's such a difficult issue. Daycares, if the daycares aren't taking kids, that could be a problem. But on the other hand, the daycares need kids because those are small businesses. So it's a really, really like difficult thing for people on those lower tiers, especially in like non-standard employment situations. I like this one from Daniel. Amazon's already trying to get rid of humans. They'll just use this to further eliminate humans. I'll trust Amazon. They'll take advantage of this. We'll go back to normal and they'll be like, oh, we figured out robots can do it. We don't need people. We don't need to pay them. And this comment right here is exactly what I'm worried about. A lot of companies aren't going to pay employees. Sadly, my husband's company said it will be an unpaid situation if anyone falls ill of the coronavirus. It's sad people live paycheck to paycheck. And yeah, and not just that, they live paycheck to paycheck. In a situations that's an actual pandemic, they don't plan to protect their hourly employees, and it's not the hourly employees' fault. If situations occur that where they might not even be sick, but like I used to work in the restaurant industry a long time ago, and the thing is, like, if hours got cut, and this was without a pandemic, you were an hourly employee, so it's like, we're not making enough money. We told you to come in for a 6-hour shift, but we're going to cut you at 3 hours. So I'm planning my life based on having the 6-hour shift, and I only get 3 hours of it. And then it's slow the rest of the week. So I get 2 hours at lunchtime for a 5-hour shift. um, at a different time. And so it sort of multiplies in this way of like losing hours, losing hours, losing hours that were promised to you. And then when you get into a situation where things are just shutting down so that they're not even bringing these people in, it's not the same situation as somebody who, yes, is paid hourly, but they're at a plant. And so they always get like 40 hours a week doing this one thing. It's much harder for people in like the restaurant industry, bartenders, people who work in like night events, like nightclubs, DJs, people like that. Like their sources of income are just gone because the businesses that were contracting them out aren't contracting anyone. So those situations are so much harder. And it's not even that those people are sick, it's that the situation has caused their income stream to just die. So yeah. That's just sad. I'm sorry about your husband's company. I really hope he doesn't get sick, and I hope he's not in a situation where the company like closes down and then they don't take care of their people. Daniel, I will read your messages with a humor cap. It says, unfortunately, Disney in California works differently than Disney in Florida. Fingers crossed you're right. I hope that Disney corporately is making the decision to take care of their people. Like, it's not, I know like Disney is like parent companies with baby companies, but I hope that everybody's getting taken care of. Freedom Does says, can't temp workers get unemployment pay during layoff time? They should be able to if they're applying for it. How much you get can depend on various factors. Like I didn't get much because my employment had been so inconsistent. When I was on unemployment for a little bit, I got like $200 a week. Which if you're in a situation where you have like rent and a family and such, that isn't much. So it depends on what your history of employment is with unemployment. And also, like, if the government's in the middle of a crisis, I think all that stuff's going to be harder to get, especially if you don't see it coming and everybody's like in panic mode. So yeah. Future Imperfect says temp workers. Trying to get this comment up. Temp workers aren't eligible for UI. It depends because I know freelancers who use it. So it may depend on your state, and it's definitely not something you should depend on to save you. If you're like Uber or something like that, I don't think you can get it for that. So it really depends on what you're doing. If you're like I don't know, like a contract, I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say here. A contractor, you know, a person who like fixes up houses or a plumber or something, and you can prove a certain consistent amount of income, maybe. I don't know. Honestly, don't know how it works. I know somebody who was like a writer. They were like a TV writer. Didn't know this person that well. I met him through somebody else. But he was on unemployment for a certain amount of time while he was between jobs. So it may depend on like how long you were with somebody under contract or something like that. Like, I don't know. Because unemployment does come from your employer, and it comes from your employer not being able to, supply hours. So yeah, it's a weird situation. And when you're non-standard employed, a lot of things may not apply to you. Which is why if you're non-standard employed, put money into a savings account. That's my preach. I'm going to get there. I'm going to be at the point where I'm like, I have this much money in savings. Not there yet. That is my goal. Because the value of a savings account, even if you're working through debt, is so high. And like these situations are just proven to me how important that is. So yeah, that's where I am with that. But unemployment is weird, and if you weren't like employed by a company, if you can or can't get it, it may vary. Like I'm not sure. I don't want to tell any lies. Um so it's rough. It's rough. Freedom Dove says robots were serving patients in Chinese hospitals. Yeah, we just don't want them to think they don't need us. Like I'm okay with that for the protection of health, but I just don't want them to think they don't need us. Disney is ABC. Also, yep, Disney's ABC. Disney is Fox too. That's right. Disney is now Fox. Oh my God, Disney has no excuse. Pay all your people. Like they're everybody. Like move money between departments, get your people paid. This is funny. Daniel, you're just hitting them out the park right now. What if laughing was the cure to coronavirus? Only England would solve. Oh man. Karen Reed makes a good point. Some employers live paycheck to paycheck also, and that's true for the smaller businesses. Like that's why I said Disney has no excuse. Some of the smaller companies, like I hope that's where I hope government supports comes in for them, so that they have the relief they need, so that they can take care of their people. But yeah, there are some employers, and I don't want everybody jumping on this train. That can't handle, like they can't handle the fact that they can't get income enough to take care of the people that they employ, which is sad, especially if they can't perform their business function. So it's sad. I'm not smiling about that. I'm reading further down in the comments. Is it creepy when people like smile? Like, because people are like, Don, you're always smiling. And I'm like, should I not be? Like, is that wrong? Freedom Dove, I'm gonna highlight this one. Can't temp workers get unemployment pay during layoff time? A lot of this depends on if, like, some companies and the workers are aware of this because they feel very confident they're going to be hired back. The way some companies deal with this is technically you're not employed with them while you're not working, and then they rehire you. I know a lot of I know some companies in my industry definitely operate this way. Like people work with the same company every year, but they're hired during like a busy season, and then they're not employed by them during the unbusy season. And then as things kick up again and they need these people, then they're being more regularly employed. So technically when they're not working, they're not like laid off. They were contracted to do a thing. That thing ended. Therefore, they are no longer an employee of that company. And then, they're back in the game when they want them back in the game. And that's a whole new contractual arrangement. So it really depends on how the business model has been running while hiring them or like not having them hired. So that's where it can get iffy. I also think businesses count on some people not going through the unemployment process, because anything with the government, again, you have to like fill out applications and be really patient. So yeah. Jennifer, hey Don, cheers from Vancouver. Met you at Chrome's Christmas Eve party, sending you a hug. Come back for Sorry, I lost it for more than 12 hours. Well, first we got to get rid of coronavirus so people aren't panicked to travel. I'm actually closer to Vancouver right now. I'm in Oregon, so that's closer than I usually am. I actually thought like it would be interesting if I went back up towards Vancouver before I went back to California, because I do have a little bit of a gap, assuming my work in California after this doesn't get canceled. Depending on how the situation goes. So we'll see. I want to glance will fast just to make sure I haven't missed anything crazy. Okay, nope. Looks like Jason walks as my audio's out of sync. Okay, that's weird. Try refreshing. I don't know if I can fix that on my side because it's just recording me. Kim C, this is a really sweet comment. Thank you very much. Your smile and sunny disposition draws me to the channel. Green Keto Goddess. I think this comment is relevant. You'd be surprised. Florida is a right to work state, and during hurricanes, even evacuations, they make all kind of excuses not to pay. I hope they do the right thing. And I think, unfortunately, that's the thing we deal with in these tragedies is, and what's sad is it's usually these big businesses that could take a hit and survive that try really hard not to pay people, and that pisses me off. Yeah. So it says it would be a PR nightmare for Disneyland to pay employees in Disney World not pay. And I think that's the thing. Like, people will talk if Disney screws people over. So just to I think keep keep good keep the Disney positive going. They're gonna pay people, even if it's not for like actually taking care of people. At least people will probably be taken care of in that situation. So do 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 do. Let's see here. Oh, the screen. I don't know if it's the Wi-Fi or StreamYard. But yeah, like I'm getting like really slow readings here. Also, I talk too much. It'd be nice if I could just reply to comments, but then I go blah 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 blah, and I'm like, oh crap! Like 20 comments went by while I did that. Do do do. Margie says that Disney is, in fact, I don't know why we keep talking about Disney, but Disney's become a thing in this thread. But apparently, which I expected. I think Disney is generally going to take care of people. Here's a good question. Let's talk about something different. Do I miss being in the van? In some ways, yes. It was just my space. I mean, like, you there's some ways that you miss your house. But also, like, right now there's so much stimulating going on that's like new, even with this whole coronavirus situation. Like, I'm in a new place. There's new things to do. Right now I'm just like really focused on my job. I am enjoying the unlimited water and the unlimited power. Like, those are fun. Overnight power is always a concern. But it's like I'm not sad to go back to the van. But like, it's what it is. Bye bye, Jay. Yeah, and if we can just keep it down. I just don't want that kind of like drama in my chat. So yeah, let's keep it down, guys. Because I kind of agree. This is the general feeling. I'm agreeing with it. And for some reason, there's a big discussion going on about potatoes. I don't know what that's about, guys. I've kind of missed a lot of this. What are we at? We're at an hour and a half anyway. I think we've just sent it into potatoes, and I missed some of it. There's something going on about raw potatoes. We've been talking about Disney. We wanted Disney. Forget just Disney. Every large industry out there, like NBA, I want you to take care of your workers. The people who are like who keep the courts clean, the people who keep the locker rooms clean, the people who serve drinks at the bar. Like I want all those people taken care of. So for the live events industry, of which theater is a part, I hope people are really thinking about those employees. Like, I really feel like actors and people at those high levels that the executives are very aware of are going to be taken care of. I'm not worried about those people. And I really hope the people who like have those jobs that are so dependent on those hourly wages really do get taken care of through this situation. Like the coronavirus is what it is. And the best way we can take care of it is to reduce interactions between people, including these large events that people fly out to. I mean, like, especially with sports teams, we have the teams themselves like flying between cities and states and all these other things. So those are the things that I'm more concerned about. And these industries really, they have the space to self-support their lower end employees through this thing. And that's really what I'm concerned about and what I hope happens. I think I'm going to be okay. So don't worry about me, guys. What can you do is just keep moving through it. I want to thank Daniel for all the laughs. Freedom Dove, I thank you for all the positivity right at the beginning with like tips and thoughts and stuff. Also, thank you for being a moderator. So everybody, thank you for showing up. Everybody who sent me like a super chat. I'm just blessed to have you all here spending time with me. And it feels good to have you guys to like reach out to and talk to about this kind of stuff. Everything that's going on right now in my life is precautionary. And I feel lucky to be here still. Like, even if I'm out of work for a little bit, I still feel lucky to be here in this place because, there's still the work I did to earn my spot here. And that's more important to me. I'm going to take one last glance at the comments here. I'm probably going to log off in a second. All right. We're still talking about toilet paper, man. Bring it back to the toilet paper at the end. Everybody have a good night. I'm going to pop off. This was such a random chat. But I'm glad it wasn't negative and it was mostly positive. And that's all I think I have to say tonight. Bye-bye, guys.